It's often said that the difference between good and world-class players is that world-class players always turn up on big occasions. Anyone can do well when there's no pressure, but only the very best perform under the spotlight. In our video today, we'll be taking a look at the players who have the most high-scoring games in the history of the NBA playoffs. First things first, who are the NBA players with the highest scoring in playoff games? Moving forward in this video, we'll be reviewing which players have the most number of games with 30-plus points, 35-plus points, 40-plus points, 45-plus points, 50-plus points, and 55-plus points. There have been many players in the history of the NBA who have scored a lot of points, but only in the regular season. For example, there's James Harden, who has been the NBA's scoring champion on 3 occasions, but doesn't have that many points in the postseason. The point we're trying to make here is that only the best players have the ability to score points with the same consistency in the regular season as well as the postseason. With that in mind, you won't be surprised to find out that in 4 of the 6 categories we've just mentioned, the 2 leading players are the GOAT, Michael Jordan, and King James. It's widely accepted that Jordan and James are arguably the 2 greatest basketball players of all time. While some might argue about Kobe Bryant or Wilt Chamberlain being there as well, even in that case, both James and Jordan are at least in the top 3. Other than Jordan and James, who we all expected to be there are some other names on this list as well. Some might be a little surprising for you, while some might not. Let's get into the 6 categories. Next up, players with the most 30-plus point games. Getting 30 points in an NBA game, while remarkable, is not really a rarity in the league these days. Players like Giannis and Curry literally average 30 points a game at times. In NBA playoff history, Los Angeles Lakers man LeBron James leads the way with the most number of 30-point games. The former Cleveland Cavalier man has managed to score 30 or more points in a remarkable 118 playoff games. While it is remarkable, I don't think seeing LeBron at the top here would surprise anyone. The King always turns up when you need him. At number 2 is the Chicago Bulls legend and arguably the greatest basketball player of all time, Michael Jordan. Jordan managed to score 30 or more points in 109 playoff games throughout his career, which isn't surprising looking at the number of championships he has won. Third is Lakers legend Kobe Bryant, who sadly passed away a few years back in a helicopter crash. The former Lakers man scored 30 or more points in 88 playoff games over the course of his career. In a fitting way, this category has the 3 greatest basketball players of all time in the top 3. Moving on, players with the most 35-plus point games. As it will be in every category from here on in, Michael Jordan leads the way with the most number of playoff games with 35 points or more. Jordan was truly a remarkable talent, and we're unlikely to see a talent of the same sort in the NBA ever again. The 6-time NBA champion leads this category with an insane 75 35-point games. When it comes to stepping up at the big occasion, there's literally no one else who can come even close to the GOAT. Chasing Jordan with 61 35-point games is obviously the Los Angeles Lakers man LeBron James. LeBron has taken part in 226 playoff games over the course of his career so far. In the 61 games that he scored 35 points or more, the 4-time NBA champion averages a remarkable 39.9 points per game, while his overall average in the NBA playoffs is 28.7 points per game. Those are the standards he's set over the years that we're inclined to think that 28.7 is a low average. Behind LeBron James at number 3 is another Lakers legend, Jerry West, who managed to score 35 points or more in 48 playoff games. Next, players with the most 40-plus point games. We're now moving into elite territory. Scoring 30 or 35 points in a game is definitely something to be proud of, but it isn't that much of a rarity in the NBA. However, it really takes a pretty massive performance from a player to score 40 or more points in a basketball game. Like the previous category, this list also includes the same 3 players in the same order. The Bulls legend Michael Jordan leads the way with 38 40-point playoff games in his career. In the 38 games that he scored 40 points or more, Jordan has an incredible average of 46.6 points per game. In the 1990 season alone, Jordan scored 40 or more points in 6 playoff games. Following Jordan are the Lakers duo of James and Jerry West. LeBron has scored 40 or more points in 28 playoff games over the course of his career, with an average of 43.7 points per game. LeBron scored 40 or more points on 8 occasions in the 2018 playoff run. West had a similar run in 1965 where he scored 40 points or more in 8 playoff games. Continuing on, players with the most 45-plus point games. Michael Jordan leads this category as well, having scored 45 or more points in 23 playoff games throughout his NBA career. In these 23 games, he scored an insane average of 49.4 points per game, while his shooting percentage from the field was 56%. These numbers are proof of the GOAT's amazing ability and unprecedented efficiency in the playoffs. His first 45-point playoff game came all the way back in 1986. We don't even need to tell you that following Jordan in this category is LeBron James with 11 45-point playoff games in his career. The four-time NBA champion has an average of 46.9 points per game and a 60.9% shooting percentage in those 11 games. Jordan has more than double the number of 45-point playoff games. However, James can still try catching up to the Bulls legend in what remains of his remarkable career. At number 3 is another Lakers legend, Wilt Chamberlain. Chamberlain was an absolute machine when it came to scoring points and had 8 45-point playoff games in his career. Next up, players with the most 50-plus point games. Now we move into uncharted territories. A player scoring 50 points in an NBA game is definitely a rare thing, which makes Michael Jordan's exploits on the basketball court even more amazing. The 6-time NBA champion had 8 50-point playoff games in his career, which is absolutely insane. It's because of these types of records that we often run out of superlatives when describing Michael Jordan as a player. In those 8 games, Jordan scored an unreal average of 54.8 points per game, shooting 56.9% from the field. Jordan is followed by Wilt Chamberlain in this category, who had 4 50-point playoff games in his career. The Lakers legend had a career playoff average of 22.5 points per game and was a 2-time NBA champion. Closely following Chamberlain is the remarkable Allen Iverson, who truly was one of a kind. The 2001 NBA MVP had 3 50-point playoff games in his career. 2 of these 50-point games came in the 2001 season, where Iverson single-handedly led the Philadelphia 76ers to the NBA Finals. Lastly, players with the most 55-plus point games. Well, 55 points in a game is really something. Getting 55 points in a normal game is an achievement, but popping up with 55 points under the pressure of a playoff game? No way. Only the best of the best can do that. The only player in the history of the NBA who scored 55 or more points in a playoff game more than once is obviously Michael Jordan. The 5-time NBA MVP has scored 55 or more points in a playoff game on 5 different occasions. His remarkable 63 points against the Boston Celtics in 1986 remains an NBA record to this day. There are only 7 other players in the history of the NBA who have scored 55 or more points in a playoff. However, no one has ever been able to repeat that feat. Among those 7 are Wilt Chamberlain, Elgin Baylor, Charles Barkley, Rick Barry, Allen Iverson, Donovan Mitchell, and Damian Lillard. Donovan Mitchell and Damian Lillard are the 2 currently active players, which means that they can still catch up to the GOAT. However, that seems unlikely if you ask us. If this list tells you anything, it's that Michael Jordan is the undisputed king when it comes to scoring in the playoffs. There's literally no one who can even come close to what he has managed to achieve in his remarkable career. And that's where we'll end our video today. Who are the top 3 greatest basketball players of all time in your opinion? Don't forget to let us know in the comments section. Please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for all the latest news in town. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.